Hello, this is Dry Oasis. I'm your host. And these two, as always, are my two co-hosts, Kirby and Sternlex. Say hello, Kirby and Sternlex. Hiyo! And I hope that you've all had a great day so far. And if not, I hope the rest of your day is better or tomorrow is better for you. Yeah, and let's get into it. Alright, so right now there's been a murder of Rosie Ringer. Kiri Faraday is the suspect, and it appears that there was an illicit evidence smuggling, selling auction thing going on. And it appears that Rosie Ringer might have been the ringleader of all this stuff. We just don't. And it appears that she was murdered sometime, somewhere near the area of where, above the ground, near where the elevator was of that area. And yeah, let's see where this goes. PIC still looming on her butts. Oh, and Emma's back. And Franziska's back. Franziska's current theory. The victim used her keycard and entered this chamber with her killer. She was then stabbed with the candelabrum by the culprit and subsequently died as a result. We know the identity of the murderer thanks to the letters she exchanged with the victim. And we know the location of the murders here in the committee's trial chamber. The blood on the floor of this room proves my theory. Game, set, and match. Miles Edgeworth, QED. QED? What the heck does QED mean? Oh god. What does QED mean? Quad erat demonstratum? What was to be shown? Quantum electrodynamics? Okay. I don't know how quantum stuff has to fit with everywhere, but... Wait, what? Oh, was there no fuse last night? I guess I'll go there myself. She seems pretty confident, huh? Heh, she doesn't like the courage of her convictions, that's for certain. And I gotta say, I can dig that vibe. I could even give her her no hard Eek! Pathetic. Well, Miles Edgeworth, do you think you can bring my case crushing down around my ears? If you really have found the road to the truth, perhaps you'd be so kind as to point me toward it? I'll be very happy to. So in, Franziska. I'm about to pave that road with incontrovertible evidence. If I remember correctly, the blood discovered in this room was located at the foot of the goddess of justice statue. Murder under the gaze of the divine. A brazen act, even for a cold-blooded killer. Except that may not be true at all. Take a look at this if you would. It's a blood stain we discovered in the storeroom directly above the committee chamber. As you can see, the blood we found looks to have been ripped through to have dripped through to the room below. I was almost going to say dripped. The stupid PS5 in the way. The elevator it drips down from descends directly to the foot of the statue. You noticed. Then you will agree that the murder cannot in fact have happened in this room. I put it to you that the victim was killed in the room above, and only afterward was she moved down here. The goddess of justice did not witness a murder. She witnessed a killer trying to cover the tracks. Gotta move you back a little bit, my friend. Why is she smiling? Sorry, I was just thinking back to a very similar situation. Well done, Miles Edgeworth. You've proven yourself to be even more foolish than I thought. Mr. Edgeworth is anything but a fool, sir, and you know it. Youch! Have you forgotten the picture you just showed me? Or are you really that airheaded? Even a cursory glance shows that there was far more blood here in the committee chamber than upstairs. Ouch! Wimped and ignored again. Wish I could... Chew! You're trying to tell me that all of the blood dripped down from above, Miles Edgeworth? If it had, your storeroom stain would need to be 10 times as big. I see the murder happens down here. There's no way it could have happened anywhere else. As insightful as ever, Francisca, but you played right into my hands. How so? You are correct. There is far less blood upstairs than one would expect. The question is, why? I trifle in detail in the face of my previous explanation. Alas, your explanation doesn't account for why there was blood in the storeroom in the first place. Surely you don't think some spatter managed to shoot itself all the way up there, do you? Whoa, it's like, whoa, like some crazy fountain of blood? No way. No way indeed. It's completely impossible. So how about this? What if this explains the difference in the amounts of blood observed? There was far more blood. The victim died of 3 stab wounds. Wounds that would have bled profusely. Exactly, as proven by the amount of blood we found on the floor of this room. But that doesn't make any sense. Not if she was stabbed in the storeroom. You said there wasn't much blood up there. Yo! Eek! Silence, you half-baked harebrained rookie. Hey, harebrained is little... Yeah! A stab wound leaves heaviest at one particular point in time. Oh, I know. When the weapon is removed, right? Precisely. I believe the body was brought down to the committee chamber with the candelabrum still in its chest. And then when it was finally removed, it created the difference in the amount of blood we see between the 2 locations. But why? What was the killer trying to do? I imagine they were trying to give the impression that the murder happens down here. As we know, Miss Ringer's keycard was used late last night. Judging by the time listed in the record, I'd hazard a guess that it was used by the killer when they entered the room to create their elaborate setup. But why would they have needed to do all this in the first place? Perhaps because a person with a face to hide would fear the storeroom being found in the investigation? If they were involved with the underground auction, they couldn't afford to have their dirty secret exposed. Underground auction! You should take a look at the storeroom for yourself. The items up there tell quite a story. One that should more than explain what was going on here last night. It's almost endearing, Miles Edgeworth, how desperately you want to protect your friend. There's something just beneath the surface of this case. Something bigger than all of us. In case only crime was to have the bad fortune to fall right in the middle of it. That's quite the hyperbolic claim, Miles Edgeworth. Don't you mean a hyperbolic time chamber? Shut up! Hyperbolic? Me? Surely you're the one making a mountain out of my perfectly reasonable molehill? You're working with Interpol on international cases, so why are you investigating a domestic murder? I'll tell you why. Because this case has something to do with the smuggling ring you've been chasing. You followed the trail of items being smuggled by the ring and wound up here. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that the something I sense isn't related to any of this. I'm very happy to learn that you giving up your badge doesn't completely relieve you of your senses. Scruffy here told me about the circumstances that led up to that, by the way. Sorry, sir. I just thought it might help, you know. You did the right thing, detective. So, am I right, Franziska? Is this incident part of the broader case you're working? Was the underground auction already on Interpol's radar? Wouldn't you like to know? But you don't need to, and so you won't. Then you knew, didn't you? That the auction was being held here in this chamber. Hold. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all mind if I butt in for a sec? Your victim over there, the lady in the white. Hold it. You. Hey, get a gal. Let a gal whip. Finish, will ya? No good butting in the pin in the you-know-what. Youch. This leopard's sure inch your spots. Screw you. You were part of my perfect testimony thing a few years ago. If you would have squeeched, then I would have still won that stay. Your testimony is not required. Neither is your presence. What do you mean? I'm a journalist. You can ow. You're a liar is what you are. You lied under oath that one time. Seems like Miss Von Karma's not too fond of Miss Hart, huh? I don't think she's her biggest fan, though. What's she called? Ringer, right? She was a member of this here committee? Well, she's dressed exactly like the ringleader of that there secret auction. Stop it! Stop whipping me, dang it! What's the meaning of this interruption? Mouse Edgeworth, explain. Miss Hart here helped us out by describing how the auctioneer was dressed. And it seems they were wearing the exact same outfit as the victim, Miss Rosie Ringer. But that would mean that the victim was also the ringleader. No, how about we just calm down, sir? It seems I have some new information to consider. It's true that I came here to investigate the underground auction. And to arrest its head of operations, the auctioneer. But if Miss Hart is to believe the ringleader is dead, I guess that means your journey here today was wasted. I suppose it does. Nonetheless, Franziska von Karma, I refuse to leave empty-handed. Time for a rematch, Miles Edgeworth. Fine by me. But you may find that your whip will surely go underused this round. Franziska's latest theory. It's not just a theory, it's a game theory. Fine, accept your little explanation. That would make the storeroom the actual scene of the crime, yes? In which case the murderer is someone connected to the auction. And if the photographer is to be believed, the victim was the auctioneer, and the culprit was an attendee. The killer lay in wait for the victim in the storeroom, where the exchange of illicit goods was to take place. Then they stabbed the victim in the chest with a piece of merchandise, the candelabrum. There, says that about sum it up, because I won't be accepting rebuttals. I'm afraid you might have to. There is a serious hole in your testimony. There is? I didn't spot any. Good thing you're the one in charge here, Mr. Edgeworth. Right then, time to fight back. You have to win this for us. And I will. Time to take Francisco's testimony to task. Testimony to task. Yeah. You conceded that point rather easily. I can't help but be suspicious. I'm not in the habit of denying facts that are readily supported by the evidence. That's all there is to it. You were able to show that the murder actually took place in the storeroom. And how exactly did you come to that conclusion? Members of the big building staff were questioned extensively, but none mentioned a secret storeroom. It seems its existence was known to only a handful of people. And of course, that storeroom was where the items that were to be sold in the auction were being kept. Very good. Which exists a link between knowledge of the storeroom and involvement in the auction. So you believe that the victim and the ringleader were one and the same? I do. And the murder was... Why are you asking her this? You just said the exact same thing yourself, dummy. So I did. But I was merely confirming Francisco's reasoning in order to... Oh, don't give me that horse feed. You get caught saying something stupid, you get a little laugh, and move on with your day. The murder was one of the auction attendees. What? You don't got no notes for our friend here after that little performance of his? Of course, assuming that our friend, the photographer's words can be trusted. I can't quite tell if they love or hate one another. Anyway, the more relevant point is how the culprit actually carried out their plan. How exactly did they manage that, may I ask? Miss Hart was in the storeroom too, remember? Objection! Yes, hiding someplace. And if you've seen the storeroom yourself, you know that there are plenty of other places to hide too. So you're saying the killer was hiding out of sight while they awaited the victim's arrival? I believe we can reasonably assume that the murder took place after the auction had concluded. After all, the victim was the auctioneer herself. She would surely have needed to be present throughout the proceedings. She thinks it happened afterward? Would you mind adding that statement to your testimony, Francisca? Oh, whoopsie. There we go. It seems you're one step behind yet again, Francisca. How so? The auctioneer was not in fact the victim, and I can prove it. This is the statement Miss Hart gave us. Well, if she made it, it's not worth the air she used to say it. I done told ya, I'm a journalist, dang nabbit. My word is youch. Did I ask you to open your mouth? Double ouch. Triple ouch. Objection. Calm you down yourself and listen for a second, Francisca. Miss Hart witnessed at least some of the events surrounding the murder, and she confirmed that the auction continued even after the murder had occurred. You bet it did. Went right down like nothing had happened at all. How would that have been possible without an auctioneer, It wouldn't, so you see. The victim couldn't have been the auctioneer. She was one of the attendees. No! I'm surprised. As I've been saying this since the start, there's no way Kay can be the murderer. Because she had been pushed down the hatch by her assailant and knocked unconscious by that time. So then, who was the victim, really? Right, well, if the auction carried on after the murder, the victim must not have been the auctioneer, but an attendee. That's enough. I know that sounds all too well. Order in the courtroom. All rise for the chairman. Oh no, not him. Oh no, there's no need for all that pomp and circumstance, Verity. Please, everyone, feel free to call me Celsius. Yes, that'll do nicely. Alright, Celsius, what are you doing here? Oh, I just stopped by to see how my boneheaded boy was getting along. They say there are all sorts of families, but I'm not sure these two are what they meant. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Oh wait, in this case I should say do stop believing. I thought I might need to light a fire under this investigation, but it seems not. The suspect everyone's searching high and low for is right back where we started. From where we started from. Oh no, it's alright, it's right back to where we started from. Men, detain the suspect immediately. Wait, Miss Faraday is innocent. Shut your meddling mouth. You're becoming something of a problem, Miles, my boy. I thought I told you. The committee wants this matter cleared up as soon as possible. It's a matter of trust. We can't have our own organization be seen to drag its feet. It's bad for us, and it's bad for me too, personally. Sorry, it must be my age. Your unlawful investigation ends here, and it will not be permitted to resume. In case you have forgotten, you are no longer a prosecutor. You have no authority here. And what's more, there is the matter of you aiding and abetting a suspect. She's right, of course. As always, you really are a godsend, Verity. Everything I do knowingly. If you wish to persecute me for it, be my guest. But know this. We have uncovered a new suspect. This person here. Miss Faraday was attacked by this Overruled. You can stop right there, Mr. Edgeworth. The raincoat in your picture was discovered nearby a short while ago. The victim's blood was found on the hood, along with some cherry blossom petals. Cherry blossom petals? Like the ones on the roof? Yes, they were stuck to the edges of the bloodstains, probably due to the blood being fresh at the time. But the results came back already, my boy, so there's no mistaking it. The person in your picture is the victim, Miss Rosie Ringer. What? No! This completely undermines our entire case. Well, our assumptions were based on the person in the red raincoat being the killer. But if they were the victim instead, then that K remains at the top of the suspects list. Miss Faraday, you testified to having encountered a person in a red raincoat up on the roof, correct? Yes, I did. We now know that the person in the that person was a murder victim. And you are the only person we know of who came into contact with her. Since one of you wound up dead, I think we all know how that encounter went. Objection! No, Kay was attacked by that person. She is the victim here, not the aggressor. Overruled. As far as I recall, we have yet to see any evidence that proves she was attacked as you claim. And even if such proof existed, Miss Ringer could have simply been acting in self-defense. Well, you can't simply jump to conclusions like that. Kay is innocent. But I'm not. Kay? I'm not innocent. I don't want to believe it, but I remembered something. Hearing about the raincoat brought it back. It's just a flash, but I remember what I saw now. Right when it happened. The murderer, it was me. I remember looking down and the person in the red raincoat was on the ground. It was me, Miss Redworth. It was me all along. I'm the murderer. I'm the murderer. No, you're not. You can't be. Then when am I? Why do I have a memory like that? They were on the floor in front of me. There was a pool of blood. Why was I just standing there? Why didn't I do something? I know why. It's because I was the killer. This court recognizes the legitimacy of the accused's memories. What? But you said you didn't believe her like 5 minutes ago. Overruled. I commend you on your bravery, Miss Faraday. It will not go unrewarded. Praise be to the goddess of justice for her many blessings. Objection! As an official representative of Interpol, I hereby request that the suspect be. We don't have time for this. We must arrest Kay Faraday this instance. How dare you take that tone with me? This is gross overreach of authority. I demand that you give us more time to investigate. You say my investigation is unlawful? What could be more unlawful than this? Unfortunately, you no longer speak for the law. Indeed you don't, but I do. And while I can't help but be moved by your dedication to your friends, I have to agree with Verity. Speaking of the law, it seems there is one other matter we must arrest. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Miles. What are you talking about? Mr. Edgeworth was just doing his job. He didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't doing squat. By which I mean to say, fortunately, Miles is no longer serving in any kind of official capacity. You went too far this time, Mr. Edgeworth. You conducted an unlawful investigation. Worse, you aided and abetted the flight of a suspect. You are no longer even an ex-prosecutor. You're a criminal, nothing more. Oh, that reminds me. There was supposed to be a hearing today, wasn't there? Concerning your conduct. I'll make sure it's officially rescheduled for tomorrow. Although, I fear I already know the outcome. Look at this as an opportunity to reflect on your actions, Miles. A chance to really think long and hard. This court is adjourned. To be continued. Dang. It was close last time. Judge Cavell's goal. April 6th. Detention Center. Holding cell. Great, back to where I was. Never thought I'd spend another night in here again. If they stripped me of all the evidence we'd so painstakingly gathered. Even if they did let me keep Kay's Yatagarasu pen. can't help but worry about her. They better be treating her well. I wonder... Come on, let's go. You've got a visitor. Visitor? Who? Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Want me to send him away? No, hell, I'm not sure what to even say to him. April 6th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Wait there. You're leaving me unsupervised? Forgive the intrusion. What? Judge Gavelle. Please, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a seat. This looks weird. For us to do? What are you doing here? I was told it was Detective Gumshoe. I imagine you wouldn't come if you knew it was me. What could she possibly want from me now? I suppose I'd better find out. You may not be aware of this, but you are only permitted to meet with specially approved visitors. So I'm to be treated like a dangerous criminal, am I? I suppose my reputation has rather plummeted. It has indeed, for you, of course, and for your friends. That attorney and the other girl were raising quite the fuss earlier. Fender and Emma. I saw them launch some extremely heated words at one of the guards. No, you didn't! You may thank the goddess in that regard, for even she is too busy to deal with each and every infraction. They will not be punished for their bad behavior. Did you come here just to chat with me? You must have a lot of time in your hands. Oh, speaking of which, Miss Van Karma is continuing the investigation where you left off. I just thought you would like to know. I figured you would be worried about how they were all doing. I hate to admit it, but she read me like a book. Let's cut to the chase, Your Honor. Why are you really here? I'm here simply to talk, nothing more. There's something I wish to know about you. Me? Yes, who else? Objectively speaking, you are highly intelligent and quick-witted. And a born prosecutor at that. Please, Judge Gavelle, your sarcastic praise is but salt on my wounds. But I sincerely mean every word, Mr. Edgeworth, and it is why I fail to understand you. Take this latest case, for example. You were up against the very committee itself, who had no hope of succeeding. Even a child could have seen that, and yet... I don't imagine the old me would have ever been so reckless. The old me had power. Because of that, I thought that justice was always on my side. Just as you and the committee believe now. But a certain person changed my mind. He made me reckon with my selfish and skewed sense of justice. But we're not going to say his name because I still don't know where he is at this moment. Once the scales had fallen from my eyes, I began to look at people differently. I thought that I was only able to be an effective prosecutor thanks to the efforts of those around me. Detective Gumshoe, the many investigative officers of the force, and even Kay changed me. The degree to which I changed me still surprises me to this day. I see. Thank you. I feel that perhaps I understand you a little better now. You understand me? I hardly doubt it. Someone who is so focused on forcing their idea of justice onto others can't possibly see what I see. Oh, he got you there. Is that so? Is that what you truly believe? Well, for how long we've known each other, yes. I will say one thing. This has been a very interesting conversation. That is all. Before I go, there's one remaining matter. I was asked to inform you that the date of your hearing has been confirmed. will be held today in the trial chamber. The committee sends its warmest regards. If that was all you had to tell me, you could have just sent a message. And entrust the goddess's word to another? That wouldn't do now, would it? Until then, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll see you again very shortly. April 6th. Detention Center Holding Cell. I guess I'll just look around. Barely spend any time in here, and already I can feel my personal appearance slipping. I may have given out my badge, but I mustn't give out on myself. My color is slightly creased. There. A tidy outside begets a tidy inside. Which is why it's more important now than ever to take care of myself. Very basic bed. I can't say it was very comfortable to sleep on, however. Imagine Detective Gumshoe would sleep soundly on, nevertheless, lousy snoring all the while. I suppose we'll probably never get to work together again. But I don't have any regrets about the bed I've made. I will follow my own path to the end. There's a menu here on the table. It seems that the detainees are able to pay to have their meals brought to their cells. But it looks good. Spaghetti and mac and cheese lunch. Add linguine for only $1. Pastrami and brown rice special. For a limited time only, add regular white rice at no extra cost. It's probably for the best that I'm not very hungry. There's a note on the wall next to the toilet. Sorry, we're currently out of toilet paper. Please make the necessary mental preparations before using the toilet. What sort of mental preparations can one even make? The window's barred with heavy steel. That reminds me of a movie I once saw. Prison inmate hatched a plot to escape by using a file to cut his cell bars. I won't be doing that, of course. For one thing, I don't have a file on me at the moment. What am I saying? I wouldn't even do it even if I did have one. There's a poster in the corridor outside. We regret to announce that due to the warden's arrest, the Die of Destiny game will be discontinued. Inmates will no longer need to roll a die every morning to determine their meals for the day. We wholeheartedly apologize to those who were looking forward to their daily casting of the die. Did anyone really need an apology for the cessation of such a ridiculous idea in the first place? Do I have another visitor? Kay! Oh, thank goodness you seem alright. That's a load off of my mind. Oh, such a heartwarming scene. It's enough to make a grown man cry. But you're still not your usually cheery, you have to say positive, Kay. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I guarantee you didn't. No, you have to let it go. Let me go. Let me go. I'm the murderer. I know that now. But you're not. You can't be. Why don't you have any faith in yourself? How can I, Mr. Edgeworth, when there's no me left to believe in? None at all? I don't think that's true. Before you lost your memory, we spent quite a bit of time together. And I dare say you left quite the impression on me. That's the impression that I got. So you see, there's still plenty of you left. That's why I believe so much in your innocence. And why you should believe in yourself too. Thank you. But I can't. It would just cause more pain for the both of us. Please, you have to forget her. Forget that, Kay. She's gone. Kay, no! You remind me of my younger self, you know. So noble, so bold. This is the justice you, the committee, stand for? Justice? I suppose you could call it that. What is he up to? Why is he going to such lengths to control everything? I can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong here. Is there some hidden agenda at play? Alright, this is no time to second guess myself. If I'm going to find out what it is, it's now or never. Well then, my boy, I suppose I should be. Wait! Why is the chairman so intent on seeing Kate charged with murder? It doesn't make any sense. There must be some rhyme or reason to this madness. Madness? This is California. Come on now, Miles. I'm a busy, important man. I can't be wasting my precious time talking to you. The only way out of our current predicament is through Chairman Winter. There's so much to ask and so little time. Let's start by trying to find out why you rushed to have Kay arrested so quickly. Can't just let this happen. I'm getting answers if it's the last thing I do. Why were you so keen to push through Kay's arrest? I've yet to hear a satisfactory explanation. An explanation? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Don't give me that. You know exactly what I mean. Tut-tut. I advise you to moderate your tone, dear boy. Need I remind you of your position? And I suppose we did let your friends go free. What then? What do you mean, what then? Think how that would look, my boy. You would have to take the blame. That's me, that's who. You're right to keep your mouth shut. That way you won't say anything foolish. Sorry, I can't stay silent forever. Not while Kay's innocence is still in doubt. You're breaking my heart. Stop. Just look at this flood of tears. Spelling notes. Please, just leave it alone, will you? Things were coming along nicely until you interfered. Coming along nicely? That's a pretty strange way of putting it. It's almost as if you wanted Kay's arrest to happen. Certainly doesn't sound like the statement of an impartial representative of the law. You think so? Well, that wasn't my intention. Has it occurred to you that you might just be overthinking things just a little? Chairman Winter certainly knows how to dodge a question, but it doesn't change the fact that serious doubts remain concerning Kay's arrest. Next time we'll press him on whether he really believes the investigation was sufficient. We can't allow any of his statements to go unexamined, no matter how trivial they may seem. What if that may give us the breakthrough we need? How much time was spent on your investigation altogether? Well now, let's see. You know what? I'm not sure I can remember. I'm sure you can. You won't bluster your way out of this one. It's not bluster, my boy. I honestly don't recall. It's a problem when you get to my age, you see. Why, I even forget my own son's name sometimes. Never mind you're full of a son. Answer me. How long did you spend on the investigation? You were right, of course. The boy's a fool. I never meant for him to grow up like that, but... Oh, woe is me. I was only too happy to derail the conversation and no matter where I take it. I have to force him to take this seriously. Let's try another tack for now. You can hardly say your investigation was sufficient. And you're the one who called all the shots, weren't you? Including the decision to have Kay arrested. Oh, I'm afraid I'm nowhere as influential as you think, dear boy. You're the chairman of the committee. It doesn't get much more influential than that. Not that I care about such things. You wound me. It's enough to drive an old man to tears. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not the deferential type. Well, if you're going to insist on being so blunt, then I'm afraid you won't be seeing your prosecutor's badge again anytime soon. Let me make something clear once and for all. That badge isn't the be-all, end-all for me. Far from it. I'm not concerned with titles or roles. Even you must understand that much. How dare you? So young. So very young. A word of advice, Miles, from somebody who's been around the block. You're helplessly naive, my boy. Idiotically so. Well, that certainly got under his skin. He might be less guarded in his answers while he's in the States. That was my chance. Hold on a moment. What was I looking at? Very well. Maybe you do know your place after all. What's the matter? Scared? Hardly. I was just thinking about how best to proceed. Getting answers from the elderly requires sensibility. They can get quite emotional after all. You have no common sense whatsoever, do you? Don't you understand? Your fate rests in my hands. Let's say you do manage to get some answers from me. There's nothing you can do with them, so why not give it up, dear boy? No. And why not? It's simple, because I'm not about to let the truth escape me. Interesting. I think I'm beginning to see what makes you tick. But what about what you're doing is pointless, tragically and miserably pointless. Please, just give up. She's guilty. The decision has been made. Once again, your choice of words intrigues me. It's almost as if Kay's guilt has already been determined from before her arrest. What are you trying to imply? I'm implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. In fact, everything has proceeded as if Kay's arrest was the end goal right from the very start. Well, Chairman Winter, was it? That's certainly an intriguing theory. But it's also a complete work of fiction, and I'm afraid I don't have the time for such flights of fancy. I think it's time we brought this shabby little farce to an end, don't you? No, he's trying to make his escape. Oh my god, this is bouncier. We must confirm the legality of Kay's arrest before he slips away. It's faint, but the truth is finally beginning to emerge. I'm not about to let this opportunity pass me by. Wait, we're not done yet. I'm tired of all this talking, so make it brief, will you? Based on everything I've heard from you so far, it's clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfolded. Yes, I think we're all familiar with this particular refrain of yours by now. But I'm afraid it doesn't matter either way. You don't have what it takes to secure her release anyhow. How dare you take this so lightly as a man of the law? My, aren't you a rude little boy? But my fuse is only so long. Honestly speaking, I don't have the time to waste on every last question you can dream up. I have certain responsibilities to attend to, you know. I am really quite the busy man. Or are you just pretending to be busy, That's an awful thing to say to a fragile old man. I work harder than I should at my age. I ask you, my boy, what could I even hope to accomplish by putting up such a pretense? Nothing more to say? Wonderful, then I'll be on my way. Alright, Every time. You obviously don't want to talk about the case anymore. That's why you're so keen to get out of this conversation, isn't it? It's just so tragic. It really is. That you would suspect me of such things. It's not a suspicion. It's a certainty. There were no clear grounds on which to base case arrest for a start. No, my boy. Let's not get carried away. There was plenty of evidence to support our case. The master letter, the corsage, they were all in her possession. And, of course, her confession. More than enough to prove her guilt, I'd say. But those are... What's the matter? Struggling to come up with the way to explain everything away? Well, there you have it. Your silence speaks volumes. It's true I can't counter your argument right now, but you did let something valuable slip. A suspiciously detailed knowledge of the evidence against Kay. He wrote on that list like he knew it inside out. I think that might prove to be a valuable clue. Who gave the order? Who decided that Kay should be arrested? You know, I can't seem to remember. Don't ever get old Miles, my boy. It wreaks havoc on the memory. Time to deploy my clue. I appreciate it if you'd stop playing the old man card. You remember the details of the evidence against Kay pretty clearly. Perhaps if your memory didn't fail you only when it was convenient, I'd be more inclined to believe you. Okay, I believe you. So let me ask you again, who gave the order for Kay's arrest? You're a sharp one, I'll give you that. My son could learn a thing or two from you. If he wasn't just an incurable numbskull, that is. It's a tragedy, really. I don't want to hear more about your son. I want to know who authorized the arrest. You're very mean. You know that, don't you? The rest you say? I believe the order was given by... Come on, Chairman Winter. We both know it was you. Alright, you got me. You make it sound like it was somehow a bad thing, though. But I have a reputation to behold, so I guess I'd better clear this up. This little misunderstanding. I'll tend to entertain your questions for a few more minutes. Let's see if I can put your mind at ease. The key thing to do now, is to establish how intimately he knows the details of the case. I just have to ask the right questions. The end game is at hand. We're but a few moves away from the truth. You seem to know the case in quite some detail. I know about lots of things, my boy. I'm just smart like that. Too bad the same can't be said about the way you handled Kay's arrest. Blah, blah. Yochi. My bad. I'm a very busy man. Do try to remember that I can bring this little chat to an end whenever I so choose. It's only taking so long because you won't give me a straight answer to any of my questions. If only you'd stop giving me the runaround. Run around! Why you just give me the run around? Or something like that. Maybe done already. So let's try this again. You seem to know the details of the quite intimidatingly. Why is that? Because I read the case file. Not exactly the most thrilling use of my time, of course, but it's part of the job. I have to be a good role model. I can't seem to be lacking. It can be so hard. But I had some time on my hands, so I read the whole thing from cover to cover. That's strange. I could have sworn you just told me you're a very busy man. I'd say the cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? If you're so keen on being an upstanding leader, you can start being by releasing Kate, you know. You really don't give up, do you? It's a moving sight indeed, my boy. But a tragic one, too. After all, your efforts are for naught. I'm afraid your little friend was found unconscious near the scene of the crime. Let's see here. We have yet to hear much about the circumstances under which Kay was found. She was lying unconscious in the storeroom, correct? That's right, although I'm not at liberty to tell you how I know that. He knows things even we didn't. In fact, he seems to be aware of every tiny detail about this case. This could be a valuable clue. The suspect, Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her exactly? I know she's a suspect. Aside from that, not much else. I lost my heart, but it's true. Time to find that. Sorry, but the more you tell me, the less sense your story makes. For one thing, you know how details even those investigating the scene were not aware of. Why is that? It's just how much do you really know, Chairman Winter? Oh, there's that intimidating face you like to make again. Well, two can play this game. How do you like me now, I do have to commend you on your doggedness. It really is something. I'll take that as a compliment. Take it however you like, but rub this up, will you? I just don't have the stamina anymore. She's the culprit, the only possible suspect. Just accept it already. How much more evidence do you want to load her down with, for goodness sakes? Load her down with? Yet another interesting turn of phrase. What that makes it sound like the items Kay was carrying might have been foisted upon her. Impressive. You really do pay attention to, don't you? It's no wonder they used to call you a prodigy, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. I think you know the answer to your own question by now. Why don't you just go ahead and say it? I want to hear it from you. It's finally time to shed light on the truth. All that's left is to play one last move. Kay is innocent. No, my boy. That's just clumsy. Anyone can blurt out a baseless assertion like that. Even a disgraced superstar prosecutor. Time to deploy my clue. Kay was framed. The true culprit set it all up so she would take the fall instead. That is my answer, and I won't let you deny it any longer. That was close. Oh, my, you really are a sharp one. It's a bit of shame you chose to hand in your badge. I admit it, you're right on all accounts. That's checkmate. You knew Kay wasn't the real murderer, and yet you still had her arrested. What's worse, you thought you could get away with it. Well, you won't. Not if I can't help it. There you go with that naivety again, my boy. I guess that was always your problem. With the girl arrested and conviction secured, this whole mess goes away. And that's what will happen. But whose interest does a conclusion like that serve? The committee's, I suppose. And mine? Oh. You know, listening to you just now, well, it really got the tears flowing, I have to say. It was a poignant and heartfelt and sincere, and utterly infuriating. Look, I'm not perfect, I know that, but your lack of sophistication in these matters is beyond the pale. You insist that truth is more important than anything else. But would you say the same if you knew what the real value of the truth is? What are you trying to say? When you get to my level, you don't uncover the truth. You make it little by little. Little by little. K-Faraday, murder? That's the truth I created. Oh, crud. Are we really going into this sophistication? Oh boy. Oh boy, this is more topical more than ever. Truth creation. Never thought I'd see those words here in a video game. Croc! Yes, my boy, that's what I like to see. You're so sincere, sometimes it's painful. It just makes me want to put you in your place. Knowing the real truth will get you nowhere. Because that's how much it's worth. Nothing. Shocking, I know. But why not go after the real killer? How much do you even know about what really happened? You're still not getting it. That's your truth. And it's worthless. Mine is all that matters. You understand what I'm saying, don't you, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor? I have all the power here. Curse you! Well, aren't you menacing? You and your little friend are just as bad as each other. Violent criminals who deserve to be locked up. You'll pay for this! And with that, yet another person disappears from my life. Oh, it just makes me want to cry, and cry, and cry. I'm not planning to disappear just yet, Chairman Winter. There's still the hearing later today. Just you wait. One way or another, I'll prove Kay's innocence to the world then. Look at these old fogies. That young one, apparently. April 6th, 8:30 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence Chamber. Defense attorney. And part of the PIC, it looks so. 10 members, over a majority, are present. I hereby call this hearing to order. We're gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Here in the sight of the goddess, we do solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment. Fair and frank? Don't make me laugh. Perfect. If you would be so kind to us to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth. On April 5th, despite having been advised of the legality of an investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and the Chairman Winter. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. Despite having been presented with copious evidence of her guilt, he continues to insist that the suspect, 1K Faraday, is innocent of all charges. Perhaps you could explain the details of the murder to us as well? Of course. On the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by me, Eustace Winter, Premier Prosecutor. The floor is yours, Mr. Winter. The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ringer. That same night, an illicit auction was being held here in this very room. Ringer took part in that auction, I think, yeah. Meaning that the murder took place sometime during the auction. When she was found dead, Ringer was dressed in an outfit that matched the description of the auctioneers. However, due to the fact that the auction carried on after the murder had occurred, I deduced that Ringer was not in fact the auctioneer. You deduced nothing of the sort. What about the basis of which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winter? Yeah, I got it. So Faraday was overcome by crushing remorse, Eustace. Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse. So she confessed. According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. That person was Miss Ringer, I take it? Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer trusted the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after the fact. But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat. And who won the race to find that red raincoat? That's me. That's who. Did you? I thought it was somebody from forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensics investigators under Mr. Winter's command. I knew it. The blood analysis on the coat showed that it was indeed Miss Ringer who had worn it. And the suspect's confession was the final nail in the coffin. She confirmed having committed the murder. So as you can see, Keith Faraday was a killer. There's no way anybody could have done it. Alright, Miles, I expect you have some objections. Let's get them out of the way, shall we? I have no objections, Chairman Winter. Oh no, is that so? I thought it would have taken more than a single night and no objection to the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty. Overruled. I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. Winter's investigation was fair and impartial. Of course it was. When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time. You know, Miles, it's within my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. If this purely hypothetical, of course, you were to withdraw your objections. You might wake up tomorrow to find yourself the proud owner of a seat on this committee. Oh, F you. So I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? If you think you can buy my silence, think again. Well, you will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. I didn't come here to talk about committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's views on the incident is. You want to put us on trial, my boy? Very well, if it will make you happy. Faraday, please provide Mr. Edgeworth with the materials pertaining to the case. Really? But sir, this will be his last hurrah, so let's humor him with the send-off he desires. If you say so, Mr. Chairman. Evidence data received from Judge Cavell. You have no objection to Faraday representing the committee, I assume? No, none whatsoever. Mr. Edgeworth, don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine, you'll see. But I have to get going. There's so much for me to do right now. Yes, then let's take a break. Alright, this has been Dry Oasis. I've been your host, and these two have been my two co-hosts, Kirby and Surlex. Say goodbye, Kirby and Surlex. Bye-o. Don't worry, Kirby, everything will be alright. Bye-o? Yes, it will. No. I will just say that much, that I believe in Edgeworth, that will believe in him, that will believe in the Fairy that believes in her. And as always, you can follow me on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Discord, or Blue Sky. I've been your host, and let's see here. Alright. I hope that you've all have a great day so far. And if not, I hope the rest of your day is better, or tomorrow is better for you. See you later, and take care. Bye-bye. Sometime soon.